guys, welcome to another speed build. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we are over in Willowcreek and I am building on this 30 by 20 lot right in front of the Goth household. You can see the specific lot name up in the top left hand corner. This area of Willowcreek I think is absolutely beautiful. The reason why I don't necessarily build here all the time, you probably have guessed it already because I talk about it more than I don't, is because of the lighting. The lighting is not the best, especially in the afternoon. The reason why the lighting doesn't look terrible on my build right here is because I'm using a reshade, but if you do not have a reshade, the lighting here is just horrendous. It's just all shadowy and gloomy, which works for the Goth household, but doesn't work for my bright and cheerful suburban builds that I like to do. So I don't build here that often, but the surrounding area of this lot is just so cute. It's so pretty. I love the windy sidewalks and the little like river or lake in the back that you can see, the cherry blossom trees everywhere. The lot next to us on the left side actually has a community garden, which I just think is super cute. And so it has a lot of really nice features around it. If you can get past the lighting in the front, then you're fine. And really it doesn't matter to play in, but to build in, it makes it kind of hard. So I'm very thankful for my reshade. And while we are on the subject of my reshade, I have had quite a few of you ask me over time what my reshade is. And I am going to start linking it down below in the description box just so I don't have to say it all the time. Not that it really matters. I mean, I love the fact that you guys comment and ask. It makes me feel really good. It makes me know that my reshade looks good. But it's just easier for you guys to skip that step and just see it in the description box, I feel like. So I am going to start doing that, but since we're talking about it now, for those of you that are wondering but maybe just didn't want to ask or haven't gotten the chance to, or whatever the case may be, I use Dove 2.0 by kindlespice. This is quite an older reshade. It is an oldie but a goodie. I think it is so pretty. It is my favorite reshade for sure. It just brightens up the game just enough without changing it too much. And I also play around with the settings a tad little bit. Like I turned some of the settings off, I intensified some of the settings, and just play around with it until you get it to where you like it is the only thing I can recommend. But honestly, if you don't even want to do that and you just want to download the reshade, you could totally do that too. The original one is super pretty too. And to be honest, I think I accidentally installed each setting twice. So yeah, there's that. I really don't know how I did that, but leave it to me to figure out a way how to do the impossible. Not that it's impossible, but if you're not paying attention, it's probably easy to do. I think I tried to uninstall Reshade and reinstall Reshade, and so when I reinstalled it, I reinstalled all of the settings, and maybe my computer already had the settings installed. So somehow my game has it installed twice, and so what you see on my screen is a little bit intensified from the original version. And so maybe you could do that. I don't really recommend it. Maybe just download everything once and then just intensify it yourself and save it. That's what I recommend doing. I don't recommend installing it twice. Don't do what I do what I say. It's one of those things. And I could reinstall everything and just do it one time, but honestly I really like the way it looks double installed, so I really haven't felt the necessity to do anything about it. So I'm just gonna leave it how I have it and go from there. But I did want to tell you guys about my reshade, tell you what kind of reshade it was, just so you guys could know, because I do get a lot of comments on it. So I really appreciate the fact that you guys like my reshade. I love that. I love that you guys love it. So now that I let you guys know what reshade I'm using, let's go ahead and get into our build for today. So this is a 3-generational house. I have another 3-generational house planned. It was a request from a subscriber. I'm not going to go too deep into that one, but I just wanted to mention that there is going to be another one coming in the next week or so. Maybe Friday, maybe next week. Let's see. It depends. But I love doing 3 generational houses. I think it is so fun and it's very useful in The Sims, anyways. A lot of us Simmers, we really like to do family gameplay where you might start out with one Sim, you build the family, they have kids, their kids grow up, but you don't want to let go of that original Sim that you made, right? I mean, it's kind of sad doing that. I don't like doing that either. So I really like to do these 3 generational houses for those of us that play The Sims that just can't let go of that original Sim. And so there is an additional bedroom for the elder or grandparent of the house. And I just think it's so cute having like a whole big family in a house, and it's so fun with that family gameplay. That's my favorite type of gameplay. Really the only gameplay that I do when I do play the game is family gameplay. Like, I'm a diehard family player of The Sims, always has been. That's what made me fall in love with The Sims 2 in the first place, was the whole family gameplay aspect of it. As a kid, I viewed it as like playing with like a virtual dollhouse in a way. That's really what it seems like to me. And now that I'm an adult, I still like it. It's fine. But yeah, so I'm doing a typical suburban build. It's been a while since I've done like a 2-story suburban build, at least in my opinion. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks, I feel like, okay? It's been a long time. I feel like it's been too long. So I wanted to go ahead and do another one, but I'm doing like a green one with like stone accents on the bottom and then the green paneling at the top. And I'm using these windows from Cats and Dogs. These are some of my favorite windows in the game, by the way. I think they're so cute. And I paired it with the Horse Ranch window shutters. And I chose the black swatch, and so I have a black roof with it just so it kind of, you know, complements each other. I feel like if I have black shutters, then I have to have a black roof. And I've come to realize I love black roofs. I never realized that before, but most of my builds have a black roof. My house in real life has a black roof, and so it's safe to say that's my favorite roof color. It's just so like stark with the white trim. I love it. And so it's hard for me to use any other roof color for some reason. I try to use gray, and I do sometimes just to change it up a little bit, but it just seems like it's not dark enough to me because I'm so used to the black roof. And I cannot stand the pink roof. So originally when I first started building this, I really wanted to build a house that matched that Happy Home mailbox that we just got with the login reward quest thing that just happened during like the holiday season, where you logged in, you got all these different rewards. I think it's still going on. If you guys are watching this and you haven't been in your game, don't worry about playing it. Just log in so you can get those rewards, because there was some good stuff, to be honest. There was like a toddler slide for base game. There was another child slide, but it is locked down to Adventure Awaits, unfortunately, but they kind of had to do that at the end of the day because it's the modular playground set and there's not one of those in base game, so I kind of get it. But the toddler slide is base game, so we actually have a base game toddler slide now, so that's super cool. And then there's this Happy Home mailbox that I'm talking about, and it's so cute. It's like a house. It's kind of large, to be honest, a little bit too big in my opinion, but it's still cute. And it's a house, and it has like little flower boxes on both sides, and it's just super adorable. But the swatches, I don't love the swatches. There's like a yellow house one, which in my opinion is the best one, but it has a pink roof, and I cannot stand a pink roof. And the reason why I'm talking about this and not using it is because I feel like in order to use that mailbox, and the only way for it to really look right is for the main house to match it. And so I really wanted to do that with this house here, have like the pink roof with the yellow paneling, and then use that mailbox, and then they match each other. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it because that pink roof is just not it for me. There's something about it that I'm not crazy about. Like, I've used it before and I'll find a way to use it again. I just need to get over it. But this house just, I guess the shape of the house, there was something about it. I just couldn't do it this day, but I still want to do a yellow house with the pink roof or red roof, pinkish, reddish, burgundy-ish kind of, with that mailbox, because I just want to use the mailbox. And then with the mailbox, there's also like a brown swatch where the whole house is brown, which I feel like is an interesting choice from the Sims team. Don't really get that one, but it's a thing. And if I'm not mistaken, there might be an all black one, which you know, that kind of goes with the goth house, you know? I feel like that kind of works. And then there's like holiday swatches, and that's it. There's not like a blue one with a gray roof or a black roof. There's not a green one. I feel like they should have added more swatches. They really did the bare minimum with that. Like, they gave us this super cute mailbox and then did the bare minimum swatches. Yeah, they did that to us. And then other than that, there's also like a bunch of magnets that they give you with this reward quest that you can put on the like magnet whiteboard. And there's also a new like board you can put the magnets on, but I'm not too crazy about it. It's kind of weird looking. It's like a hexagon and it has like wood trim. It's weird. It's kind of weird. I don't really like it. And then there's also this like neighborhood book box. I don't remember the name of what it's actually called, but it's actually a thing. What it's supposed to be is like it's a box full of books and it has like a window door in front of it that you open, and what you're supposed to do is like grab a book and leave a book, and then like you can read the book, you can return the book or keep the book, whatever, but I think you're supposed to leave a book if you grab a book. And I actually had one of those in the neighborhood I grew up in. One of the houses by me had one of those like book box things, and it has an actual name. Forgive me, I don't remember what it's called, and I don't really feel like looking it up, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then just go to reward login quest and look at all of the rewards and you'll see it. You'll see what I'm talking about. And so yeah, it's kind of interesting. I never used the one around me growing up. I've never been a big reader. Not sure what that says about me, but it's true. I'm not a big reader, okay? It is what it is. But kind of interesting that they added that in the game. I wonder how that works. Like, do Sims that pass it actually grab a book out of it? Something tells me probably not. So I'm kind of interested on how it works. I need to give it a try. But that's one of the rewards, and I don't remember what else. Basically, that's the best stuff, though. I think there was some like SpongeBob stuff, which who cares? I mean, they're trying to promote that SpongeBob kit that literally I don't think anybody has bought, including me. And I bought a lot of the kits, so that should say something. That just, I don't know, the stuff in it is not cute in my opinion. It is kind of horrendous. And I love SpongeBob. That was my favorite show growing up, but I don't need it in my game, not for $5. I think there's like custom content you can buy that's like the SpongeBob bedspread, which is probably the best out of the whole pack, is the kid room SpongeBob stuff. But like I said, there's custom content that you can download if you're on a PC anyways. If you're on a console, you cannot install custom content, but I still don't feel like that SpongeBob kit is worth it in my opinion. It's not it. But yeah, so there's quite a bit of good stuff. Not everything's good, but the slides honestly is the best part about the whole thing. And then the mailbox too. The mailbox is cute, even though it has bad swatches, but at least we got a new mailbox, I guess. But at this point in our build, we have a really good start. We have the floor plan basically done. As you can see, I have a pool in the backyard, and I'm doing like a screened-in pool sort of thing. I'm using these windows from the Greenhouse Haven kits, I believe is what the kit's called, and it has like these little like mesh pieces on it where it looks like a screened-in porch. I love using it for a screened-in porch, or in this case, it's a screened-in pool, which we have a lot of these in Florida. You guys probably know about that though. I mean, it's to keep like little critters out of it, and it's also to keep leaves out of it. It's pretty useful if you have a pool, to be honest. It's easier to maintain your pool that way. And I never personally had a screened-in porch in my life, but our new house has one, and now I can never go back. Like, you can go out there without a bunch of mosquitoes and bugs flying all over you, which usually is a problem here in Florida. You cannot get away from the bugs. So the screened-in porches, it's very useful. Like I said, I can never go back. It just feels so nice to step out of your house without having a bunch of little like no-see-ums or mosquitoes or locusts, dragonflies, butterflies, anything you can think of flying around you the moment you step outside. So yeah, very, very nice and very useful. I can see why people like them. And I also think it looks pretty nice too. I like the way that screened in porches look. And in The Sims, you may or may not like the screened in pools. I have a lot of fun doing it just because I feel like it makes it look a little bit more realistic. And obviously, the roof at the top, I had to use a glass swatch, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But we can just pretend that it's actually like a mesh screen instead of a roof. And in this case, usually when I do a screened in pool, I have this problem where it thinks it's inside, and so it's very, very shadowy, and I have to place lights absolutely everywhere. And then in the afternoon, it looks a little bit shaded, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense, and so that drives me a little bit crazy. But in this case, for this build, I actually kept a little area where there's like a little back porch where you leave the screened in or the sliding glass door in the backyard. When you first enter the back porch where the pool is, there's a roof overhead of it. And where the roof meets the glass roof, that's supposed to be the mesh roof, where that meets each other, there's actually a little space that doesn't have a ceiling over it. And you cannot even tell, to be honest. So I left that open, and that made it to where it looks like it's outdoor and it actually thinks it's outdoors. And so I was super happy about that. Now I know a little trick to get around the super shaded area if you do a screened in pool. So I love that. And it just makes it look so much better. It actually makes it look like it's super sunny and not shaded. And so yeah, I was happy about that. And I do end up decorating the porch a little bit later in the build. I put like some lounge chairs out there. At first, you're gonna see that I added like an umbrella table and chair set, but I do end up putting that outside. And then I put like a water slide because I have to do that now that we have them. And I do a little outdoor kitchen out there too, and I really love the way that turns out. I think it turns out super cute. So we'll talk more about that once we get out there. Right now, I'm starting to furnish the inside. We have the dining room done, and I'm doing this little hallway right now. I have like this little shelf from Eco Lifestyle. I love this shelf. I think it's so cute. And I did size it down though because it's a little bit large, and I'm using a lot of platforms in this build, and so it was clipping in the roof, so I ended up having to size it down, and now I'm just freely placing objects on the actual shelves. And usually people install, and I used to do it all the time, the red shelf, like the OSMP red shelf or something like that. And that is a really good shelf to be able to do what I'm doing here, where you can freely play stuff. But I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to downloading custom content and mods. I can only have one or two installed in my game at once, and that's enough upkeep for me. And so the red shelf is just not one of those. I have the MC Command Center installed, and I also have UI Cheats extension. Those are like must-haves for me. And so another shelf that comes in the game, it's tied down to high school years. So if you have high school years and you're not, you know, someone that likes mods or custom content like me, or maybe you're playing on console, but you really want to freely play stuff on a surface, and you need something to easily do that, because sometimes you could just control 9 or control 0 to raise stuff up or raise it down. But that doesn't make it to where you can get exact on the surface you're trying to use, if that makes sense. And so you can use that blue cube from high school years that you've seen me using on the shelf, and it fits almost every single object you can find in the clutter catalog onto that shelf. And so that is my little trick that I use. Instead of using the red shelf and downloading that and maintaining that, I use that blue shelf that comes in high school years, and it works almost exactly the same. Like, it's so nice. Once I found that, I was so happy about it. So I am now starting on both of these bathrooms downstairs. We have one over by the living room and dining room, and we also have the second one over here. I also end up putting a laundry room in this build. It's been quite a while since I've done a laundry room, and I have been dying to do one. I just haven't had it installed. I haven't had laundry day installed because I've been doing a lot of like limited pack builds lately. But this one, I think I believe I have all of the packs besides the kits installed. Well, I think I have 2 kits. I think I have all the packs plus Greenhouse Haven and Kitchen Clutter Kit, if I'm not mistaken. All of the other kits I have disabled at this time. I don't know. It can clog up my game a little bit too much, and I just don't feel like dealing with all of that right now. And we also got the living room done. So the living room, I think, turned out super, super cute. I love the sectional. I don't use the sectionals as often as I really would like to. I need to start using them a lot more because you can really design the room however you want with the sectional. And there's a lot of really good pieces. There's like a little like ottoman that you can stick on the side. There's like the curved piece that you can put in a corner. And then if I use the curved piece, I love to put a lamp behind there. I've done that a couple times before. And you can also use the square piece to fit perfectly in the corner of the room. I wish that they had a few more swatches, but I literally say that about every item. I feel like every item doesn't have enough swatches. But I also have a fireplace down there, which I included one in the master bedroom too. I don't do that often, but the master bedroom was kind of on the larger side and we have an office, so I didn't need to put a computer desk in there. So I figured, why not add a fireplace in the master bedroom too? I felt like it was kind of cute. It was kind of perfect. And then I have like a coffee table. I have some other decorations in the living room, but it's pretty self-explanatory as far as the living room is concerned. I just wanted to talk about how cute I thought the sectional was. And then I put like pillows on there in like the corners. There's lots of pillows, but it is still functional. Your Sims will sit there even though the pillows are there. But we have the master bedroom done, and I am now starting on the master bathroom. I'm using this bed from For Rent, and it's like one of those canopy beds. I absolutely love beds like this in real life and in the Sims. I think they're so pretty and they just look so like cozy. I don't know, there's something about them, especially if it's designed where it has the mesh blanket or mesh like fabric all around the bed. You find those a lot in areas that has a lot of mosquitoes or bugs or anything like that, especially in other countries where they don't have AC, so they have the windows open, or they just have like open windows all the time. There's no like glass there, and so there's obviously mosquitoes and bugs coming in the house, and so you'll see the mesh fabric around the whole bed so that you don't get ate alive at night. And I just think that those are so pretty though. They remind me of like a royalty person's bed. I don't know, it just does. It just looks super fancy, okay? Is what I'm trying to say. But I used one of those in the master bedroom, and like I said, I have the fireplace in there, I have a dresser in there, I put like a chair in the corner. There's not any skill building items in the bedroom. It's literally just a bedroom for show, and then your Sims can sleep in there. That's really all there is to say about that. And then the master bathroom, I have a double shower in there. I've been doing that a lot lately. I feel like that is so cute, and you can have both parents or the couple, both Sims that share the master bedroom, you can have them shower at the same time. So I feel like it's perfect. It saves you time. And then we have like a double sink, and then a toilet, and then decorations. And that's all there really is to say about that. We have a second bathroom up here. So this house ends up having 4 bathrooms. There's plenty of bathrooms. There should be no Sims peeing their pants, okay? If they pee their pants, you are not doing your job. And so I really love to add as many bathrooms as I can. And it's also fun to not have a lot of bathrooms there. Like, it's fun to have a lot of Sims in like a single bathroom. It just makes the gameplay a little bit more challenging, and I like that. I think it's fun. But in this case, it's such a big house, it just needed more bathrooms, or else there would have been too many rooms. So we have 4 bathrooms, and I don't think I mentioned it, but we end up having like 6 bedrooms in this house, maybe even 7. So there's 4 up here, and there's 2 downstairs, but one of the bedrooms downstairs is actually an office. So technically there's 6 bedrooms, but like I said, one is decorated as an office instead. And the other bedroom downstairs ends up being for Grandpa. Or Grandma, it really doesn't matter, but I decorated more like masculine style, so I figured Grandpa was down there. So we have Grandpa, we have 2 parents, we have a teenager, a toddler, and an infant. And then I meant to put some cat bowls, like some food bowls for either a dog or a cat somewhere, but I think I forgot to do that. So if you have a pet, you could totally add that yourself anywhere you can find room. There's plenty of room. There's a pet bed in one of the rooms right now, but I do end up deleting that because I can't find a good place for it. And then I just totally forget to add food bowls for the pet. So yeah, you'll have to do that yourself though if you do want to have a pet. We are working on Grandpa's room. And like I said, it is more of a masculine style. I end up having a woodworking bench in here. And then above the bed, I put like that picture frame box that has fishing lures. I think that's from Growing Together. I think that is so cute. And so I figured Grandpa was really into like fishing and woodworking at the same time. And I also have a TV in here because sometimes Grandpa just needs a break and he needs to watch his shows in peace. And nobody else wants to watch what Grandpa watches. And so he just has to lock himself in his room and watch whatever it is he wants to watch. And I also have like books on his dresser and some of these like city building sculptures that are from Growing Together also that I have never used before in my life because I never really found a good way to use them, but I felt like Grandpa would have those in his room. I don't know, it just felt like something to put in there. And that's it for Grandpa's room, and we are now working on the office over here, and I have the computer desk, and in the background I have a couple of bookshelves with some clutter items on there, a plant, and like a chair. I figured this could be a computer that one of the parents uses to work from home, and so I wanted to give it like a nice background for that. And maybe they don't work from home, but I still wanted to have like a nice little area behind the computer desk just in case. And this little area over here, so you have like the dining room and you walk through that hallway and there's the kitchen on one side and then the office, and this little area right here, this room, is where the laundry room is. And if you keep walking through the hallway, you'll lead to the side door. So I don't normally put side doors in my Sims builds just because I usually forget about them, but I did it a couple of builds ago and I thought it was really, really fun. And it's also kind of nice to have an extra exit outside of the house to lead to like that little side area. And if it's a corner lot like this and it has the extra sidewalk, then I love to put these side doors because it just makes it feel kind of complete and realistic, and I think it's super cute. You can either set this as the front door or you can set the actual front door as the front door. It's totally up to you. I would do the front door as the front door, but you know, to each their own. Maybe you want all of the dirt from the outside world to come in the side way instead of the front way. I don't know, totally up to you. But yeah, I just love the look of the side door. And we also have the back sliding glass door too. So we have 3 entry and exit ways out of this house. And technically the back door is an exit or entryway too, because we do have a gate leading from the backyard to that sidewalk over there too. So there's plenty of entry and exits out of this house, and I love that. And I also, just like I said, love the look of this side door. I think it's super cute. So we are now over in the kitchen and we are working on the kitchen. I love the way that I designed this kitchen. It's one of my favorites that I've done. I think it turned out so cute and very functional at the same time. I tried to keep it realistic as to the fact that there's a lot of Sims in this household. So I have a lot of different clutter pieces on top of the counters, but I tried to keep it nice and neat and organized at the same time, because I feel like since the rest of this house is very organized and neat and everything has its place, there's obviously a very neat Sim that lives here. Whether it's mom, dad, grandpa, whoever it is, someone's neat. Probably mom and dad's both neat. And so I really tried to portray that in the kitchen too. I really wanted it to be obvious that a lot of Sims live here, so there's a lot of stuff, but it's organized at the same time. It doesn't have to be messy, even though there's a lot of Sims, you know? And so yeah, I tried to portray that in the kitchen. And one of my favorite parts of this house is the fact that I have this like sliding window above the sink in the kitchen that leads to the outdoor kitchen. So there's 2 kitchens technically. There's the indoor and there's the outdoor. So this area is like perfect to have parties or get-togethers, or maybe just like a fun family day by the pool. I absolutely love the way that that area turned out, and it's super fun to like play in a house that has an outdoor kitchen and a really nice pool area, and it was super fun to design too. I had a lot of fun making this house. So we are finishing up the indoor kitchen now, and not only do I include a lot of like clutter items, but I also include a lot of functional items too. So we have a microwave over in the corner, and I also included this espresso machine from Get Together, I believe is where it's from, and you have to have the two pieces for it. You have to have like the actual like coffee grinder, and then the actual like part where you put the cup of coffee for it to come out of. So you have to have the two pieces. I don't know exactly what each of them do, but I do know that you have to have both pieces or else they don't work. And maybe one's the frother, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe one's like where the coffee comes out of, and then the other one's like the frother? I'm not sure, but I do know you have to have both pieces. And I also included a rice cooker. I don't do that very often. I usually forget about the rice cooker, or I just don't want to add too many items on the counters. But since I was making it cluttered, I was like, you know what, let's fill it up with actual functional items at the same time. And there's plenty of room for your Sims to actually prepare meals on because we have that huge island in the center of it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's not only cluttered but functional at the same time. And I do have the dog treats over in the corner. So I do have dog treats, but I did forget the food bowls. So yeah, I tend to do that a lot in builds where I have one piece on one part of the house and then I forget to add the second piece on the other side. So I do that a lot. I have a short-term memory problem, I think. But that is about it for the indoor kitchen. I did put a rug underneath the island. I know that doesn't make sense, but I felt like it needed something. And so I added a rug. I figured it's fine. Maybe it's just a square rug that fits perfectly around the island. I thought it looked good with it, so I kept it. But that is it for the indoor kitchen, and we are now starting to work on the back porch where the outdoor kitchen is. So I also included a couple of like tables, a couple of chairs here. I chose the swatch with the plumb bobs on there because I don't get to use them very often, but I figured since we have a lot of green in this house, why not use it here? They're fun to use. It's The Sims, so it's fun to use the plumb bobs. And like I said earlier, I have the water slide leading into the pool because I just cannot help myself. Now that we have the water slides, I love to use them. It brings me back to The Sims 2 seasons. I absolutely love it. And we also have a couple of pool floaties. We have the little ladder leading out of the pool. And right now I have the umbrella table, but I figured it made more sense to have it outside. I figured at first, when I first added it here, it's supposed to be a mesh roof and not a glass roof, so I thought maybe it made sense to have it here, but I do end up adding a second little like patio area right down at the stairs outside, and I needed to put something there. And so I moved the umbrella table over there, which then freed up that space, and I was able to put some lounge chairs, so that was super nice. And on top of the table, I have a little like centronella candle to keep those mosquitoes away, and a little picnic basket, and then a plant. It's an indoor plant, but it works outdoor too. And we are now working on the outdoor kitchen. I kept it kind of simple out here. We have the fruit bowl from Island Living. I thought it kind of matched the setting out here by the pool. It was kind of cute. And then a little drink tray from Backyard Stuff. And that's really about it. Oh, we have the mini fridge, and then we have the stove top and the oven under the counter, and then a trash can. And then I have some stools where the island is. And that's really about it for that area. It's the perfect setting to have a nice party. And we do have a grill in this build, but I have it outside. I felt like it made more sense outside. You don't really want to have a grill by your house or under any sort of roof or mesh roof patio area. You want it to be outside, okay? It can be a fire hazard. Not that it really matters in The Sims, but I like to keep it as realistic as possible. So now that we have the back porch area where the pool is done, I went ahead and came back inside to get the interior done. We're working on the little entry room, and I have the staircase off to the side, and that room ends up just being like a sitting room. I didn't really know what else to do there. I tried to put a piano, but the piano just wasn't fitting very nicely, and so I figured we'll just make it a sitting room. Maybe this is the nice sitting room that no one's allowed to sit on. They have to sit in the living room where the TV is. This is the nice room that is off limits. Some people have houses like that. That's how my grandma's house is. Even though now she allows people to sit in that room, but growing up when we were kids, maybe it was just because we were kids, nobody was allowed to sit in that room, okay? If she caught you in there, she very nicely got onto you because my grandma's nice, but we knew to stay out of there. She didn't really have to say anything, we just knew. But I tried to find some relatively nice couches, and these are from Get Together. I wouldn't necessarily consider these that nice. They're kind of bland, but now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to add pillows on there. I so should have done that. But I did find this coffee table. I think it's from Lovestruck, but why have I never used this coffee table before this? I think that is such a cute coffee table, and it looks super, super nice also. And it also matched that swatch of couch from Get Together like perfectly. Or not Get Together, I think Get Famous. It was perfect though. I was like, okay, that's too good not to do. So let's just use these. Now that I'm looking at it, I definitely should have added some pillows, but it's fine. And then I have like a little vase of sunflowers on the coffee table, and it looks super cute. I'm pretty happy with the way that room turned out. And then we have some of those pictures with the vines on it going up the staircase. And I just tried to decorate it up nice and cute. It's really just a room for show, but it's better than being blank. I definitely had to put something in there. And usually I put the staircase by the front door, but I wanted to be different this time. And so that is why I put the staircase off to the side in that little like sitting room area. And I think it turned out super nice. We are now back upstairs finishing all of the children's rooms. We are working on the teens room first. And this bed that I'm using is from high school years, and I am obsessed with this swatch. When I was younger, I would have loved that bedspread with the little like skulls on there, but it has like the pink flowers. It's like pastel goth, and I love that. So we are going off of that bedspread and trying to decorate the rest of the room off of that vibe. So we have a lot of like pinks and blues throughout the whole room. That's basically the only two colors I'm using, with like hints of white and beige here and there. So I have a computer desk in here for the teen, and I also have like a gaming system underneath the TV. So your Sims can lay in bed and watch TV, but they cannot lay in bed and play the video game, which is unfortunate. I thought you could, but then I was playtesting one time and I realized you couldn't. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. And so we do have a little beanbag chair next to the bed so that your Sim will be able to sit on that and play a game, whatever game she chooses. And so yeah, I also have like a divider dividing the computer desk area with the rest of the room. I really just wanted to use this divider. That's the only reason why I have it there. I think it's from Growing Together, either Growing Together or High School Years. I can't remember which one. I believe Growing Together though. But I think it's so cute. It has like fairy lights throughout it, and then it has like some little photos on there, like Polaroid photos, and I just think it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I don't use it nearly enough just because I never have enough space in my rooms. But this one was big enough, I was able to use it, so I was happy. And I also was able to fit a little cheer mat in here, and I believe it should be functional. I actually haven't had a chance to playtest the build yet, which I'm sorry about that. Hopefully I remember to playtest it before I upload it onto the gallery. But I have the mirrors right next to it so that your Sim, in theory, could look at themselves while they're cheering and practicing their routines. And then I have like a little radio on it, so I'm not sure if the radio is going to be in the way or not. And then there's also a lamp kind of clipping in on it, so you might have to either remove the radio or move it into a different location. And same with the light. You may or may not have to remove the light, but I believe it should be fine. Hopefully anyways. And that is pretty much it for the teens room. I absolutely love the way that room turned out. I always love the way I do teens rooms though. I think I do them the best. I think I said that in the last video too. But we are now working on the infants room, and I've been doing this a lot lately where I put the crib kind of like vertically, and then I put nightstands on either one or both sides. I think it looks so cute, and it just, I don't know, I love it. It makes it look like a little like bed, and it is functional, by the way. I did make sure I play tested that in a previous build. And then I have lamps on both sides of the end tables. We have a little grabby mat in here. You can click and drag that anywhere on the lot that you want it to be. And then I also have a changing table. And that's about it for that room. Not too many things in there, but your infant could totally come over into the toddler's room and use everything that's in here. We end up putting a dollhouse in here and a toy box. And then I believe I end up putting a stuffed animal. I might remember removing the stuffed animal though, just because I couldn't fit it without it looking a little bit too crammed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remove it, and then I put the toy box on the other side of the room, and then I put a little dresser there in the corner. And I also put some toy blocks, and that is it as far as like the skill building items and toys and stuff goes. And I use these curtains from Island Living. I think they're super cute. I love these curtains. I use them pretty frequently. And that toddler bed is from Eco Lifestyle. That is my favorite toddler bed in the game. I think it is absolutely adorable with the little canopy over it. I absolutely love it. I don't use it as much as I would like to, mainly because the windows are usually in the way. And I don't like putting it over the window. I just don't like the way that looks. It looks like it's covering the window, and I don't like that. And that is it as far as the furnishings on the inside goes. We are now back outside finishing up the exterior. And here I am moving that umbrella table over onto this patio that I put outside, and then the grill is right next to it. And then I put some lounge chairs over in this area right here. I think it looks a lot better that way and makes more sense too. As for the other things that I put in the backyard, I don't put a lot of stuff back here, mainly because it's kind of a small yard since I have such a big pool area. And I was only really able to fit one of those new toddler slides that I was talking about earlier, the ones that you got from the rewards from last month. And it has like a little void critter on there. It's kind of cute. I kind of like it. And I wish that they had some normal swatches, but at least we have a toddler slide in base game now, so I guess it's better than nothing. Right now, I have a swing set also, but I do end up removing that. I really wanted to try and squeeze it in there, but it just did not fit. It's such a small area in the backyard. Once the toddler and infants, once they grow up into a child, here in the front yard, I do end up having quite a bit of space up here, and so you could put like a monkey bar set, and then they'll be able to raise their motor skills. So they'll be able to put something for the kids. It's not ideal because it has to go in the front yard, but at least it fits somewhere. And that's pretty much it as far as the skill building items go. I think I was able to fit a couple of planter boxes in the backyard, but not a whole lot of stuff. I do want to say though, before I say bye to you guys, because it is about the end of the video, I do want to mention though, the privacy fence that I'm using in the backyard. This is the first time I'm using that fence, and I believe it's from For Rent, but I think it's so cute. I almost did the wooden privacy fence that I always do, but I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I came across this one, and it has a matching gate, and so I thought it was too perfect not to use, and I'm happy that I did. I think it turned out super cute, and it makes this house a little bit more unique than my other houses. And then I also grabbed this debug fence from Businesses and Hobbies, and I surrounded the whole lot with it. I don't usually surround the whole lot with it. This is the first time I did that. I usually just put it in the front for like decoration, but I wanted to be a little bit different this time, and so I put it around the whole front and side of the lot, and I love the way it turned out. I think this house turned out so adorable and very functional too, which is always a plus. But that is pretty much it for our build for today. For the rest of the video, I'm pretty much just going to be finishing up the landscaping and then doing some minimum terrain paint. So I guess I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy the rest of this video on your own. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, please do not forget to leave a like and also subscribe if you have not already. And also share this video with your friends if they are simmers as well and if you think that they would enjoy it. Doing any and all of those things helps my channel out so much. It helps the algorithm kick my videos out to other simmers. So yeah, I appreciate you guys so much, more than you would ever know. I will leave you to enjoy the rest of the video. Also, stay tuned for the screenshots if you would like to. I hope you all have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and I will see you all in the next one very soon. Bye guys!